Hello everyone. So in this video we were able to continue from this particular blog content page. So what we have done in the previous video is that we were able to show the content part of our blog, which is just this particular content here. This is just absolute just an image here. There's a topic, the title of your blog here, and then there's the content right here. So what if there's still we have one more blank space here? So I would like to fill it with the author who have actually wrote this particular blog. So that's what I'll be doing here. Instead of leaving this blank here, I'll be actually filling up with something useful. So let's go back to our code here. So what I'll be doing here is that, as you can see here, this is the code that we have made to make sure that we are able to have as you can see, there's 3 columns here, but then we have already used the first 2 columns for the content part. So let's create another div right below this, right below here. What you're going to be doing here as well here, we'll be having another div. Okay, so let's create another div, and that div will be having its own class name. That class name will be having, I like to place a width equals to full so that it fills the whole space of that of its column. And I like to make like a white background followed by rounded XL. And also like to make it overflow equals to hidden so that it does not scroll anywhere. And also I like to give some shadow by drop shadow MD. So next thing is I like to give some padding of y-axis of 5 pixels, and also this will be having a maximum height of 250 pixels like this. Just make sure you place the dashes properly, and let's click save. And there you go. Now you happen to have like a box here just beside your content. This is where we'll be having the authors, the details about your author. We're going to be having 3 elements. It's going to be an image followed by the name of the author and the description of the author. So it's going to be adding just 3 elements inside this white color box here. Let's go to that particular div which we have just created, which is this here. What you're going to do here, I like to have, of course, need to be creating a div first, and that div will be having 3 elements. So the first element is going to be an image. That image will be having a class name of p2, which is padding of 2. Of course, going to be having a width of 32 and height of 32 as well, and it's going to be rounded, and it's going to be full. Yeah, it's going to be rounded full. And I like to make the margin x-axis to be auto so that it sticks to the center. And of course, since an image, we like to give some source here, some source tag here, props here. So I like to close this tag here. I've not give any source here, so then we'll be doing it later. And of course, let's go to the next line, which is I like to give the name of that particular author. So I like to give like an h1 tag like this. Inside this h1 tag, we'll be having some styling as well. So I'll give class name. That class name is going to be, of course, font equals to bold, where text equals to 2XL. So I have to make it bigger than the description, 2XL, by text center, so that it sticks to the center always. And the next thing is I like to give is text, the color of the text, which is text gray, and also like the gray has to be 900, so it's actually dark enough. And I have to give some padding top of 3 so that it actually spaces out from the image. And I have to give some dummy name called John Doe. And the next line is going to be the description of that particular author. So it's going to be a p tag, and inside that p tag I'll be having a class name, and that class name will be having text center as usual, text center, text gray 900, followed by font medium, and that's it. So and of course I like to give some description, for example, web developer. Okay, let's click save, and let's open the thing. Yeah, as you can see here, we happen to have a nice good looking alignment of the author. So what we can do here, we can actually place some dummy data of the author. So let's go add the same way how we added this for this content as well. So let's go back to our code, and instead of actually instead of hard coding this particular manually placing the text here, what we're gonna do here, we're just gonna go to this particular blog object here, and we're just gonna paste it. I'm just gonna paste 3 more items inside this particular block here, and there you go. Now I've just pasted this 3 particular field, an extra 3 more, which is author name, author image, and author description. So what I'll be like to do, I'll just like make use of these 3 fields I've just imported and pasted right here. So let us go to the first thing is I like to paste author image. So let us copy this particular field, and directly inside the source here, what I'll be doing here, I'll be having the curly braces, and I'll just be pasting blog dot author image, and followed by, let's go to the next part, which is instead of John Doe, I would like to paste author dot blog dot author name, something like this. And the last one is going to be which is going to be the last part, which is blog dot author description. Okay, so as you can see here, now I was able to complete everything. Let's click save. Let's open up the thing, and there you go, guys. Now you're able to, okay, now as you can see, the image of this particular author is not actually cropped properly. So I have to go back to my code here. I have to go to this particular image. As you can see here, there's one thing missing, which is the crop field, which as you can see, we need to use object cover for cropping images without actually making it not so appealing. So let's click save and let's open it up, and there you go. Now you happen to have a nice, good looking DP of a author, of a person here. So yeah, that's it, guys. So let's give it a check for its responsiveness. Let's go down here. As you can see here, this particular card is not actually responsive. So as you can see, it should be filling up the whole space, right? That's what it should be doing. When it's in mobile responsive view, it must be we must be filling up the whole space. So that's what we'll be doing. That's what we'll be fixing it right now. So what we can do to fix this problem is we need to make sure we actually list this particular grid columns properly. So as you can see here, we happen to have, when it's large screen, we must be able to fit 3 columns. And of course, when it's in, we won't be needing medium-sized screens because we already have SM and SS. So as you can see here, when it's in small-sized screen, we need to be having 3. And of course, when it's in the smaller size screen, we need to be having 1. I would like to remove all of this, by the way. So let's click save, and as you can see, it won't be happening anything. So next thing is that I would like to go and add SM, which is small size screen. I need to make sure the small size screen to be having 3 columns as well, but only when it's in the smallest, which is the SS, must be having only 1. As you can see here, if it's only 1 column, and I click save for 1 column, it will be able to fill the whole space, because we are only making sure there's only 1 column. If it's a 1 column, it should be like expanding the whole space. So as you can see, let's check it out like this, and as you can see here, now when we open this up a bit, it actually expands, and when it's a bit more bigger, it actually fits inside this space here. So this is what we exactly wanted. So the next thing is, as you can see here, when we make this into a mobile sized resolution, we happen to see there's some irregular gap at both of the side here. As you can see here, there's more gap than here, right? So there's something to do with the gap here. So as you can see here, we happen to have multiple gap. So we can make use gap equals to 8. We can just combine them equals to 1, gap equals to 8. So the one way where we can use to solve this particular irregular gap error is basically it's within the gap itself. So as you can see, this particular gap equals to 8 is actually meant for when it's in your desktop view, you need to be having a gap between these 2 columns. And inside your mobile view, we won't be needing any gaps, because the gap is actually not in x-axis, it's on y-axis, but it's already working, by the way. So basically, it's like the reason why this gap is causing the this irregular gaps in the x-axis, although it's in mobile. So this particular gap will work only for medium-sized screens and above. So let's click save, and there you go. Now this irregular gap is working. And all we need to do, just need to have only for small sized screen, we only need to be having the gap of y-axis of 8 would be also be nice. Just gonna be 8, and there you go. Now we are able to fix this error. And let's go through the responsiveness problem. As you can see here, So as you can see, only when I go a bit more, so this is only works for SM, and how about SS? So that's one more thing we need to do. Just need to make a copy of this. Just make a copy of this and paste it. Yeah, just need to make a copy of this and just paste it like this, and just need to make SS and just click save, and there you go. Now you won't be having any trouble. And let's see if is there anything else you need to fix for responsiveness. And you can see here, we don't want it to be stretching like this also, but it's already working. So as you can see here, we were able to make use of the responsiveness part, and yeah, I think it is already good enough. I guess we have already tested for this two content, and let's just go through again to make the size a bit more smaller, and let's go down, and yeah, as you can see, it's working perfectly fine. So yeah, I think that's it from this part of this video. As long as you're able to reach up until this part, you're already good at it. So thank you guys for watching this part of the video, which is going to be the front end, and let's catch up on the next one. Thanks.